G'day and welcome. We are back with yet another Nexus Gaming Series cast. Tonight we do have fensad facing off against Spooky Ghosts. I realised I was on the wrong screen at first. I see that people were assuming I'm being attacked by flies, and they are correct. But tonight I do actually have a guest. Someone else is going to be taking a mic, and that is Brutal Pinkie Pie. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you for asking, and how are you doing?
I am doing well, apart from the flies, wonderful as always. As I said to you just before, I've had a few drinks today because I was doing hot shots on Plasty's stream, so that is going to be, I'm going to be in an interesting headspace. I'll get quiet for a little bit and I need you to take over in both instances. But I'll
do the best I can.
This is the division you play in. How do you feel about these teams coming head to head? What are you expecting from them?
Well, I am definitely expecting potentially like a Hanzo, maybe a Vala. I'm really excited. Maybe a Hogger if they let it through from fensad side. So it could be really exciting, especially in Alterac with that camp that comes up like almost every minute. So if they got something to take care of that, then each team would need to both have something to protect middle lane.
I should rephrase my question. More meant, how do you feel about them in the head-to-head kind of these teams? They're roughly even in the grand scheme of things, but you've played against them both, I imagine, at this point. So who do you think will come ahead at the end of this? Do you think it'll be close, or do you think it'll be a wipeout on one side?
I think it's going to be fairly even. Yes, you are correct. I have played against both teams. They're both really strong because they're both like very up there for top 5, I want to say. So I would love to see a really good, like maybe map 3 in this game. That would be exciting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm cursed with the fact that not often I do get free map series. I very much, if it's a best of 3, it ends up being a 2-0. If it's a best of 5, it ends up being a 3-0. It's not a great thing for me, but what I'm going to do is swap us over to the draft screen, which the NGS thing takes its time, and then we'll see how this goes. fensad, I know they do like running a kind of off lane, like normal tank off lane, and then kind of some pseudo off lane. And I think I've seen Spooky Ghosts come up with a triple frontline comp in their own parts.
For sure. I want to say both teams have some like meta heroes that they like to play. So I think we'll either see those as bans or potentially being played tonight.
We almost, I feel like we see the Junkrat ban here. I feel like that's something that so many teams either prioritize picking or prioritize banning. I feel like it's a little less actually in the B West, but no, Leeming has been banned. Moore is getting denied her heroes already. And there's Joe.
Joe.
As always, Joe gets banned. What a surprise. I like reading in chat. Just Chris was saying Spooky Ghost spanked us last season.
They're a very good team. Even Nolius says that they're a very good team, and I believe we actually lost a map to them, so they're a strong contender.
Oh, there's Junkrat then.
Ooh, the Ming and the Junkrat. Those are target bans.
Yeah, very much target bans. The one from fensad, very much, it feels like Spily Fly. It very much feels like Joe is one of his heroes you do need a ban either way. So if you have first pick, you essentially have one free pick, like one extra pick that you don't usually expect to have.
Do you feel like the Karate Kid?
Depends how much I hit this fucking fly. And Diablo banned out. That is a little pointed here. I don't know if it's necessarily the best map for a Diablo ban, but it can. I've seen it do work here either way, especially with the W quest. But yeah, Nor says Lucio incoming, and I know, is it Jazzy Vel? Robot Wizard's a very good Lucio in their own right. So very interesting. They've left that one up. It may cause a few issues, but we'll see how Spooky Ghosts deal with it, because we see the first pick of Sylvanas.
Ooh. Very strong on this map.
Yeah. Black Arrow's a hell of a thing. We see Lucio picked up basically immediately and a Nubrek to follow.
How do you feel about the Lucio being let through?
I don't know, because I've seen Lucio be banned basically every match that I've casted that I've seen of fensad this season. I feel like you guys banned it out as well.
We did. I'm curious to know if Jazzy's actually going to play the Lucio or if they're going to swap it up to Robot Wizard.
Dark Brightwing. Okay, so a lot of global value now on this side of
Absolutely.
Ooh, ban for Falstad. That's where I'd go at this point. Ban Falstad, don't let him just have that absolute control over the map. Especially because Falstad is one of those kind of auto attackers, or oh no, it is Jazzy who is Velucio, never mind.
Unless they change in draft.
Maybe. But yes, I'd ban out Falstad here, but no, they just ban out Mirrodin.
They're targeting the tanks.
May as well. So Hogger is free for Rug Lord. Yeah, Hogger is free. That'd probably be a good ban as well, especially on this map.
Do they ban Vala, or what do they ban here?
I feel like Hogger's more of a concern. I feel like Vala, because of how Anubrak works, it does get disconnected a little bit sometimes. Hogger can just go in and we do
there's the
Hogger.
Hog. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I have to say Nor was right in the chat.
I don't pay attention to him.
You know what, that's probably the correct choice as well. Nor's just sitting here like, was hoping just for a good stream. We're just gonna bag on him for the next hour or so. Poor Nor.
So we got a Blaze and then a Nubarak front line. It's pretty strong.
There's Vala.
Oh, there's Vala.
I like Blaze a lot. Blaze honestly is one of my favorite offlaners to play currently. He's very
strong.
Versatile.
Unfortunately, though, a lot of people don't use the bunker when they're supposed to. I'm guilty of that. Yeah.
I feel like I've only picked Combustion once recently, and it's literally into a team of 4 Bruisers and a Lucio.
Ooh.
Maiev.
Spicy.
Maiev Tyrael. I imagine we're going to see a Bruiser Tyrael with kind of Maiev as the engage.
But they do have a Dehaka, so.
I don't know. Warden's
but it
Cage,
is possible.
Isolation, Contagion.
And what will they take last? Maybe a Nazebo? Maybe a Jaina?
Orphea?
Orphea is potential too.
Yeah.
Orphea.
I do remember what some people play. Not much, but I do. But that is a good draft from both teams. I'm very interested to see how this goes with fensad, just because I know they don't get to play with they don't actually get to play the competitive with Lucio much. So I'm wondering if that is kind of, they finally get it and now they just haven't used it in a while, so it may be difficult, but hard to say because they have, of course, done practices that we don't see.
I am interested to know who's going to be taking camp on both sides, because I know that Blaze is until about like level 4 for taking camps fairly well on his own, and they have Sylvanas on the other side. Maybe Maiev might take up for camping.
We'll find out soon enough. If Maiev goes Nisha's Memento, that typically means they're going to be doing the camp, because that's the one that does allow their auto attacks to bounce. Dehaka may be able to do so as well, but honestly it may end up being Sylvanas post level 4 if she chooses Merc Queen.
Very true.
I really wish I remembered other things that weren't just Hot's talents. My great flaw is that it's just Hot's talents in my head. But right, we are going to introduce the team. So on the side of fensad, we do have Jazzy Val on the Vala, Robot Wizard Lucio, Psycho is on the Anubarak, Rug Lord on the Blaze, and Grismore on the Orphea. And who do we see on the side of Spooky Ghosts?
We have Dehaka with Eric with a K. We have Rogas on Tyrael.
You're finding out how hard this is now, aren't you?
They like stacked on top of each other. We have Boundrix on Maiev. We have Sylvanas with Cold Douse, and we have Little Wolf on Frightwing.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get an early split for Sylvanas. Stuff happening bottom as well. Ruglord already there though, just eating a little bit of damage from Gladys. Boundrix looking for Vateva, but no. Had activated early, but didn't quite go in. Oh wait, no, it didn't.
We got some stacking going on at mid.
If you want to see talents, by the way, click Control 1. I think that
Thank
works.
you very much.
Yeah. Because we do see an auto attack stacking Vala, and it is a dead Lucio. Died to tower shots. Oh dear.
It's not something you want to happen in the very beginning of the game.
They get a scheme for warm-up feed out of the way now, just making sure it's going to be fine later. But it does look like it is going to be Vamayev doing camp. But she did pick up Nisha's Memento, like I had assumed. But we do see now Ruglord and Jezebel on the camp to just try to get that done themselves.
And we do have percent for Sylvanas and the Q build for Orphea. So this should be very interesting.
Yeah. More I know says that she is surprised not more people go Q build. I feel like she's one of the very few I do see it, just because we do see the more traditional auto attack traits kind of hyper carry build. But both these camps have
Definitely
been
one of
found.
my favorite. Q build is definitely one of my favorite for Orphea.
Mine is E, because I should not be playing Orphea under most circumstances. I'm not a good Orphea. I love playing the character, but man, I'm like, I'm going to go auto attack build, then I see like Garrosh, Varian, I'm like, never mind. E build it is.
Brightwing here down in bottom lane, trying to fend from the blade.
Ooh, we're getting some very good Teva. Sorry, just watching mid. Boundrix getting some very good action. Good resets mid. Blaze and
Absolutely.
Orphea is definitely an interesting, would be a very slow matchup between those two. I do know that Blaze would obviously clear a little bit faster, but it is definitely a unfortunate place for Orphea, Brightwing to be. Also, feel like you can tether onto my camera if you push O and C at the same time? I don't know. There's something to tether onto other observers' cameras, and I can't recall. Oh, Boundrix goes in.
Maybe it's working.
If I just do this with my camera, can you see that? Me doing circles?
No.
Never mind, it's not working. I can't remember. It's because I barely observe onto anyone else. I usually do it myself. It's hard to know what I don't use often. We see Rogoff and Psycho just holding between lanes, making sure Brightwing or Blaze doesn't kind of get rotated on. Jezebel and Robot was getting really low, and we already see
Orphea's
Boundrix
doing fairly well.
back on camp. I feel like Orphea, this matchup between Orphea and Dahaka is one of the ones where Orphea can do very well in if she hits her Qs. If not, it makes it a lot harder, but she does have good wave clear. And actually, I know if there was a offlane Orphea build I saw a while back, but I can't quite recall what it is. Thank you for following Linehouse. How are you feeling about this so far? Like, both teams very even, but we are just getting up to Jek now, and Psycho gets that one beetle to take it.
Yeah, I would say so. Mid is looking very, well, I guess red team has a little bit more work on their towers at mid. Looks like blue team is trying to stall for this objective, which is good because, oh, and Robot Wizard is on the Lucia.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice tower out by Psycho. Alright, Jezebel is on that Vala. I feel like I mentally made a note of it and just never said it out loud.
It's okay, I did honestly
I
know
definitely
until
said
now.
Robot Wizard's Lucio at the intro as well.
Looks like they're both trying to keep an eye on the objective.
I imagine we're going to see Boundrix disappear for camps shortly as well, because it is just 17 seconds left of that. But looks like they're wanting more aggression coming out now. Oh, they're going in, thinking about it. Tether active.
Yep.
Oh, never mind, they get stunned for their efforts. There's the pull from Dahaka, there's the tether on Boundrix, but no, that was just a little bit too early. Ruglord did not get hit by the actual main damage of the pull itself. But now we do see it. So it's all 5 members just backing on up. They don't want to get too overzealous.
I would say that red team is definitely taking a lot more damage than blue team has so far.
That's not who you want to get hit with a tether. Jezebel barely getting out. They do have that Gambit talent, so very good. They did escape there.
I was very close though.
Yeah, definitely probably scary for them.
Yeah. Don't want to lose this Gambit stack.
Lasers on camp. Maiev not quite doing the same thing there. No, they're going to actually hunt for the kill. That's the tongue onto Psycho. We do see Boundrix getting the tether unstopped by Psycho's burrow, and they're going to keep pushing in. Oh, Rogoff getting very aggressive now. Now, I want to place a bet with you. What do you think we're going to see? Do you think we're going to see Judgment or Sanctification Ontario? Which one?
Ooh, I don't know. It could be both ways. I've seen a lot of Judgment in this division, but it would be a lot of fun to see the Sanctification because Sanctification would give them potentially more combos, especially when the Maiev goes in and he could just land it and then they can just wail on the enemy team. But Judgment could allow them as a fresh engage, and then Dehaka could follow up with his taunt. And then we have, the Wailing Arrow perhaps, or even Mind Control. So I think either one could work really well here.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out soon enough because that team fight was won by fensad. Got a few picks here. And we do see they do get their heroics. And what heroics are those? Pinkie Pie. What's the easiest thing to call you?
Either one is fine with me. You can call me Pinkie Pie, Pink, or Pinky, whichever works well for you. Okay. For the blue team, which is fensad, we're looking at Bunker for level 10 with Blades. We've got Crushing Jaws with Warthia. We've got Cocoon with Anubarak. We have Reign of Vengeance for Vala. And then we have High Five for Lucio. And what is red team?
We have only seen a few heroics picked so far. We have Mind Control, Sylvanas, never mind. As literally as I said that everything was picked, but Eric is in danger first, sorry to note, but they do back out to safety, more or less. Anyway, we do see the Blink Heel Bright Wings. Sylvanas did go the Mind Control. There is Sanct Ontario, so we are going to have that safe, appealing play from them. We also see Warden's Cage, Maiev, and Isolation Dehaka. So we do have a little bit of a combo potential here when we get to these messier team fights. Oh, Little Wolf, you're alone. Psycho's going for it.
I do like the Sanctification.
I do like Sanctification a lot. But we do see Psycho is in trouble. They don't have escape. They used it to go in on Little Wolf, and it unfortunately will go down. Robot Wizard not quite wanted to go back in to high five him just once, just to potentially dive themselves.
And we got both teams on their camps. Blaze did finish a little bit faster than red team.
I do think Blaze just started earlier as well. I can't quite recall.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, I can look at my stream. There's like a 30-second delay here. I could actually figure that out. Oh, the privilege of being able to look on. Yeah, he did start it earlier. Well, Vala actually started it during the team fight when Anubarak was diving under tower. And Red Bull is just falling off. Eric with the cage just going, nope, you're not pushing that. Go away. Shoo. Don't bother me. And once again, the Hornets are fighting in mid. This really...
fensad is doing a really good job about clearing mid and trying to get out at the same time. Although here comes the team fight.
Good mind control. There's the Warden's Cage. Reign of Vengeance coming in on top. Assume we may see Sank. No, there is the certification. We do see Maiev has been put in the containment. Not containment, just Anubarak went Cocoon. I'm not used to this. I'm very much not used to doing, like, casting with other people. That's a weird thing.
It's okay.
It makes it a lot harder for me. Also, we do see that Orpheus just been pushing top this whole time. I feel like I've casted, what, once or more, a few times with Plasty, a couple times with Peach, but I do a lot more solo. Also, Grismore is kind of going this off-lane build, Orphea, that I was mentioning before, where you pick up Ravenous Hunger at level 7 and just kind of start stacking that. Because A, it helps you heal off minion waves and make sure W do more damage. So you are getting into more one-shot territory in terms of the heroes we do see on Spooky Ghost. If Boundrix gets hit by it, for instance, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh, nice vault there. They do get out of Crushing Jaws, and that is more losing another key, well, using that key ability early on.
Looks like they're trying to cap this objective. They might need to just back up a little bit and regroup as a team before they want to go in there.
Oh, no, they're going in. No, you said the thing. Don't try to predict too much because it will happen like that. We see Anubarak did get disconnected. We do see Venet's Vala going down. Meanwhile, Blaze is pushing mid, so we do see there's a realization they do need to stop that, particularly the camp on there as well. And their own one is up. We do see Rogoth and Boundrix trying to channel the objective, but Robot Wizard and Grismore doing their best to make sure it can't happen. We see Boundrix getting very low for it. Nice charge by Blaze, and that will be Maiev down.
Alright, so they're both even at this point.
If you want,
as far
just
as objective goes.
talk over me so you actually get a word out.
No, I'm okay. I'm vibing, to be honest.
Right on. But we do see that they are going to start channeling the objective back. Robot Wizard does just keep rolling on around. Eric with didn't quite predict the Lucio just to keep going aggressive. And now we do see it is a very strong defensivist objective by fensad. Spooky Ghost struggling to get a channel on it.
I do believe fensad has this objective in the bag.
10 seconds left. You've decided to curse them. Let's see how this goes. It looks like it may come to pass. Robot Wizard with that E does help stop things. Boundrix getting a vault of Wardens up. That's one for... No, Boundrix gets to live. That's just the Nubrak going down. We do see Sect is drop. Give me more. Doesn't quite hit Viterva. Boundrix falling short is wanting to escape because the arrow is chasing them. But we do see Orphea goes down. Robot Wizard looking for Boundrix, but they're already out safely. And just like that...
I would say for Spooky Ghost, this is actually good for them because if... you know, the enemy team is taking the objective, they do want to have those kills so that they can do a lot more for defense.
It looks like it is just going to be the choice of fensad to knock over mid, which wouldn't have taken much either way in all honesty. But that is a good choice. Kind of make sure you have every single lane with that catapult pressure every 3 waves. But we do see now mid's getting defended. Bottom's already on top of it by the Haka. There's a little bit of Rug Lord issue down there, but that's fine. And top is just easily to be rotated upon.
And then bot should also be taken care of fairly easily too.
I think the Blaze makes it a little bit more annoying than it needs to be, but by no means Blaze should be staying here too long. And we can see they've already left. And we're getting a boss call by both teams just on the opposite side of the map.
Our cavalry sacrifice will not be in vain.
This should be interesting.
I feel like fensad does boss a lot quicker, though I'm looking like it's pretty even so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, it's a little bit faster by Spooky Ghost so far. Both teams missing a player. I think it's fensad barely first. Yep, 1, 2, done. A little bit easier for Spooky Ghost to defend this. They do have a little bit of leeway, but in all honesty, if I was fensad, I may have just gone straight bot. Actually pushed a bit bot because you have more to stand getting there than you lose top. Just because these bosses are the weakest in the game, I think, if I recall correctly.
Yep, they're only level 17, so they should be fairly easy to like defend, or even if they lose top, I mean, they could just like push in bot and get bottom, or get as close for bottom keep as they can.
I feel like they should have tried to open up bottom keep.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, both bosses cleared pretty easily. A little bit more on the top fort than it is the bot keep. But as we said, there was that little bit more walk time that it took the bottom boss to get to that keep. So that is hence why we are at a weaker point for that.
And there was the tongue.
There was a tongue. Poor Eric could not hit that tongue. Should have gone longer tongue. That was the issue. Oh, Rogoth very alone decides to teleport out to safety. Robot Wizard peppering... Robot Wizard is just really just being an annoying Lucio, so I'm figuring out more and more.
And he's got the highest DPS on their team.
Do they really?
Mm-hmm.
I guess Robot Wizard has actually just been holding in forward the whole time and not letting go. Once again, I feel like we keep getting... Spooky Ghost trying to channel but while the fight's going on, but it looks like they've learned from mistakes. Nice jump by Boundrix, but does go down. Eric of K taking a lot of damage. We do see they get hit with Random Vengeance. Will die. Teriel was stuck in the cocoon, but wasn't able to get them. They do teleport out. Robot Wizard on top of a wolf. Wolf now in trouble. Does blink to Rogoth, but Orphea finds a kill onto them. We do see Robot Wizard continuing to chase him down. Nice sanctification, but I don't know how well Teriel can get out. Nope, he does have sword and makes out safely. All while Robot Wizard was looking to get aggressive and take them down.
I was not able to catch it, but with the sanctification, was he cocooned at the very beginning of the fight when Maiev used his cage, or her cage, excuse me?
Yes, Teriel did not use it early in the fight. They were... Okay. They had used Holy Ground, and I don't know if they were cocooned. I believe they were, potentially. But definitely it was a... it was a good cocoon if that was the case, and I just missed it. I recall seeing Holy Ground. I know Sanct was used right at the end for Rogoth to save her own life. But I think if they did use Sanct early enough, they would have been able to create it in the time it took Cocoon to hit them. Also, that was just isolation ripped, but
maybe
no one
early
found.
on in that engage, maybe it should have came out a little bit sooner, especially with the cage, and so that Maya can do the combos that she needs to do.
Yeah, I very much think they did need to drop it, but now we're in a very dangerous situation for
Very dangerous.
Spooky Ghost. They do still have one building up, but it looks like that is what Fensad's going to choose to run it next.
Do you think they could end right here?
They could. If they could if they get a kill. They do have 20, so they can try to force it, but it's not necessarily a great idea fighting under this core, because it actually does decent amount of damage. That's an excellent pull. Nice triple stun there by Blaze, however. There comes the sanctification. That's what they need to do the other time. Boundrix is in trouble, but it looks like Cocoon was on Sylvanas, and that's the way you get an advantage of these team fights. Sylvanas is back. Nice stun by Ruglord once again. Boundrix goes down to Blaze. You do see Robot Wizard now on top of Collider's Little Wolf getting low. Rogoth getting very low, and I think they need to just die and use their trait. Grismore is isolated, does take a decent amount for it, but we see that is Dark going down. Little Wolf escapes the core, but that's likely going to be the game.
Yeah, they have all three keeps down, so it's a very easy core to kill right now.
I like how Little Wolf steps up for a moment, and then we just see the instant, I'm going for that kill.
Yeah.
That both Jazzyvel and Robot Wizard just roller skates on up. But yes, that will be the first map of the series. Going over to the side of fensad. Let me change it to the game summary screen. Think they'll ban Lucio next game. Very likely. So, stats. Want to break those down for us?
Yeah, we are looking at Vala for Fensad as being top damage with 52k. In fact, she was top damage across the board. And then we have Sylvanas for their team for leading in damage as well. Maiev did fairly well in comparison, and Orphea looked like she was trying to bring up in the end. And look at that Lucio damage. I mean,
know.
Honestly, if I was the enemy team, I would be banning Lucio next because I feel like the way he played the objective, the way he was just like peppering the enemy team, he was just able to get away with a lot of things that I feel like he shouldn't have been able to. I do like that Ruglord was the only person who did not die, so his KDA was the best for this game in particular, yeah, I think that as far as Soak also goes, Blaze also won that for Soak. And it looks like Orphea did fairly well for her team as well. And we had Sylvanas in second for with Dehaka on their team. So.
Yeah.
Look at that,
healing.
66666.
I know. That's amazing. I have to say that was impressive that even with playing Lucio... Sorry, just reading playing Lucio's for tryhards is impressive. But no, the thing is, even with Lucio doing all that damage, they still had, 700 damage shy or 700 healing high of Brightwing themselves, so they did definitely do work there in right place, right time. Looking at talents of those who are interested, we do very much have some of these are more a standard array. We do have more, like, traditional Anubrak, eat for spell damage, go in, get a kill. Lucio was that annoying Lucio build I like running because it's very fun to run at people and slap them post 20. Or just in 10 if you're like slapping your own teammates just out of frustration. Just stop getting CC'd. But yeah, everything's more or less standard across the board. Every time I do see a Orphea, I do point out it's very strange to see pure Q build. But I guess more and more I see it, the less I should really point that out.
I would say it's kind of interesting, though, with the Sylvanas for her talents, because she did take the reduced armor at 13 rather than, like, taking remorselessness or taking the additional E also. So that was kind of interesting, as well as the Q at 16. Usually the unstoppable.
Sorry. I very much think that Cold Embrace does lean itself into a one-shot build, which if you're going mind control, you're definitely wanting that single target blow up.
That would make sense, for sure.
Right, I'm going to throw it back to my map view screen. Now, I guess we'll wait and see what we will have next is the question.
Who's gonna be first pick?
Towers of Doom. Go.
Tower.
I want Towers. I love seeing Towers of Doom. I don't know why. I like playing the map because I would just kind of zone out for half a match, put on a podcast, and listen to it while I'm doing the offlane. Because you don't do shit while you're in the offlane on that map. A good old PvE.
And anything could happen, right? Because it's kind of like one of those maps. So you think one team could be like swaying in one way, and then all of a sudden the enemy team is just like,
I have been
nope.
listened to. Towers of Doom.
Wonderful.
Who has blessed us with this? Excellent. It is fensad. They know better.
I believe it was fensad.
They do know better.
They love this
I've
map.
put Tomb of the Spider Queen, not Towers of Doom. There we go. Towers of Doom map picked by fensad. So, seeing how the last map went was a little bit more of a blowout than I originally expected. What do you think Spooky Ghost needs to do here to really gain momentum in their favor and bring it to a free map series?
I think honestly what they need to focus on is a really strong 3-man. And like for me personally, like on this map, I feel like that works really well. You have a really great double soaker, so Spooky Ghost could bring out that Dehaga again, and that could work really well to their advantage, especially with these objectives that come up, because they could just pop up at any moment. And then if they could get like something that could rotate really well, and even Maiev could even potentially work here well for that, to gank potentially the enemy team on Bensad's side. And if they could get something really strong, just to, like maybe a Hanzo or like an anchor hero, even if they like steal the Junkrat, I mean, that could be strong potential here to hold it. And I think that's what they need to do. Maybe honestly, like continue with the same bands that they have, because I think that was actually fairly strong, especially for Towers of Doom.
Yeah, especially for Towers of Doom. But Lucio definitely needs to get banned out this time. Again, it is just a good map for Lucio as well. It very much helps. It very much helps.
Trade the main for the Lucio.
Fensad, yeah. It helped fensad rotate between those lanes much more effectively and actually potentially get ganks on the enemy offlaner a little bit more. But a 1-1-3 split would definitely be interesting, if not more unusual when it comes to competitive play. If you could like Thrall in the mid lane, that could be interesting.
That could be interesting.
That's actually one of my favorite ways to play Dragonshire. Bruiser Bruiser up top, Thrall and like rotating between mid lane and bottom lane, just to pick up soak and get some extra damage off. Because they're actually a pretty good one for that. And then just seeing him a good solid free man still.
I think that between like Dragonshire and Tower, they can be played almost fairly similar. So you could do like the rotation if you need to. If you don't have like a strong double soaker on this map, you could do those rotations. But
how often do you not pick a strong double soaker on this map?
I have seen it. You'd be surprised.
True.
But it is usually in most cases that you do take the double soaker. But even like in times like having a double soaker, if you get ganked or if you're not able to rotate to mid, it's always good to have like some sort of hero that can pick up the slack when needed.
Yeah, more often than not, that is the mage, I'd say. I also just realized now that I'm mentioning fensad more and more, I don't think I've ever seen them play Phoenix.
Phoenix would be very interesting to see.
Phoenix is unironically another one of those heroes who can do pretty well at anchoring mids.
Yeah, yes, he could. His rotation skills are very strong with using his warp, so that could be a lot of fun to see.
I'm getting distracted. Where's fensad? Opening you up. Have you played Phoenix? fensad, let's find out. We're getting into the draft, but I'm finding this out first.
Isn't that their icon is Phoenix
I know.
Sad?
Let's have a look. Season 15, have they played it? No. Is there all seasons, have they played it? We'll find out. Thinking. Is there a Phoenix yet? No, they've never played Phoenix in their life.
I feel like the team is a lie.
I feel like this is false advertising. That's not okay. You know what, for that place, I feel like, just run Twin Blade variant, just call it a day then. Junkrat's being banned, though. That's probably someone else who does pretty well at anchoring mid, and actually can solo these camps pretty well as well.
Absolutely. And his anchoring is just superb, so it's a very good ban.
Junkrat is such a fun hero to play. I love the Rubbish Rodent so much.
When a Junkrat, a good one, is on the other team, especially when he's like concussion mine. Oh my god, that is so.
Oh, concussion mine build gets so. Oh, there's Lucio ban, by the way. Concussion mine build gets so infuriating to go into.
It does. Oh my god, did you see him like pop across the like other half of the map? And you're like, god damn it.
I wish I could do it better. I wish I could do that build like actually do it better, but I'm so slow on it sometimes.
Yeah, I'm so.
I want to blame Ping, but I know at some point it has to be me, right?
For the alliance above all.
And they did ban the Sylvanas. I think that's a very smart move on their behalf.
An Anduin pick first. I do think fensad like running a blow up here, but we do see Li Ming was through this time, so it is going to be more picking it up.
And they did take the Dehaka, so that's very strong on this map.
Oh, yep. One of my favorite heroes to play here. Gets a lot of value in general. But Blaze is still available. I like to see Blaze picked up in all honesty for the offlane, because they can double. Instead we see a Tychus, and Urel I would not say is one of her stronger double soak heroes. She can do it. She's just a little bit slower than Dehaka, if I recall.
I don't think she's much of a double soaker. She is a duelist, however, so she could pester him while he's trying to leave the lane and keep him from rotating quite as fast. So that could be interesting to see.
I say this all out loud and realize I'm horrible with Urel, so I have no clue. Who knows? There's probably some double soak Urel strat that I don't know about.
It is possible.
Probably with Divine Steed? Or Instamount, or whatever it's called on Urel. I can't remember the level 7's name because I never go it.
I wonder what they're going to ban next. Maybe the Vala.
Still need tank.
Maybe a
Still
tank.
need damage heal. Anubarak?
Perhaps ban Rhaegar? Anubarak, you were right.
I was like, ban what they played last time. Cycle did well on it last time, so may as well get rid of it again. Krizo says Urel will keep up. I'll take your word for it, Urel. Not Urel, Krizo. That's your name, not Urel. What's next? What next? Who picks? Pick Ana, that'd be fun. Mirrodin kind of fills the same slot as Anubarak, and we do see Vala once again. I wonder if Anubarak with ban was necessary if you have Tychus. That's like my main thing I'm thinking of currently. Because Anubarak would just get punished for going, and Tychus at least has a dash to escape. Mirrodin is a little bit harder to read in that regard. Oh, I love ECC. And Kael'thas to round it up. Good. I like these picks. I love seeing Mosh.
I do too. There's a lot of CC and displacement going on Spooky Ghost. That's going to be a lot of fun to see in a 5v5. And they do pick up the Brightwing. So that could be strong into Urel. Or the Mosh interrupt, absolutely.
Actually kind of... I do like Brightwing a lot. Some people do say she's overrated. I don't know how I feel about that. She's definitely strong, but I don't think she's the strongest by any means. But that is going to be it for our draft. I'm just going to throw it back over to map view. But how are you feeling about this? About what we're seeing here? Who do you think has the advantage so far?
So from what I'm seeing on fensad team is that they have two strong DPS players for team fighting, and that could work with them or against them. Though that the Dehaka can do a lot of like double soaking, but they don't really have anybody that could safely rotate to mid. And I would say that is almost about the same thing for Spooky Ghost as well, because they have the Tychus and the Kael'thas. But Kael'thas wave clear and throw a W with Tychus. I mean they're clearing that wave really fast. So I feel like as far as CC goes, there's a lot of CC going on for both teams. But I would say that Spooky Ghost might actually have an upper hand when it comes to the displacement. As long as like Yrel doesn't accidentally like boop him out of like potentially Mosh or anything like that, it could potentially go their way. But I think that both teams are fairly strong, especially for 5v5.
And now that I've let you talk for a while, quickly introduce to us fensad.
Okay, so we've got Ruglord on Dehaka, we got Vala with Jazzy Val, we've got Muradin with Psycho, we've got Brightwing and Robot Wizard, and Li Ming on for Gizmore. Grismore. Sorry.
Meanwhile, on the side of Spooky Ghost, we have Eric with a K barely escaping with their life there on that Yrel. Rogoth is on ETC. Kalidas. Oh my gosh, I forgot Tychus' name. Little Wolf, Anduin, and all the way up top, we do see. Actually, no, I've already said you, Eric, go away. Boundary X is on the Chaos Fist, which nice slide by ETC. There's the stun combo. That is a dead Vala, and that is one step of Gambit gone already. Woof, that's rough.
Minute. And we do have Dehaka starting mid, and we've got Yrel starting top, so it's interesting that they both started in other lanes.
We do see Kalphus is rotating a pick up for Soak mid. But camps are being started. Look at this camp discipline by these two teams. I just saw Moore just miss a full arcane volley on a sapper, but I should probably not have said that out loud. Moore can take the bullying. She bullies me. It's fair.
Well, you know, for fensad, they did get their camp out faster.
Yeah, and now we see Rogoth is just being slapped a little by Psycho. Now making their way back in. Jazzy Val, do not lose another stack of Gambit. This is repeating. Oh, no actual Flame Strike that time from Boundary X. I think they're just a little bit too low on mana. And that may have actually meant Vala gets to live where they probably should have died. Meanwhile, we see Grismore just poking in underneath. They do have fours coming through now, but nothing quite picked up yet for everyone. But it is going to be Triumvirate at 4. So a little bit leaning into the orb build, but I do believe she still goes Calamity at 7.
Yep, either... I feel like even sometimes when I take orb, Li Ming... Ooh. I don't think that's a rotation that they were hoping for fensad.
Yeah, this is a very spooky comp, as Nullius actually does mention in chat, because we do see it as the same kill, repeat, combo, slide, root, or either slide, stun, roots in terms of a CC, and all the while you have Kalidas minigunning, and Boundary X has that bomb plus Flame Strike underneath. That's a lot of damage, no matter which way you slice it.
Absolutely.
And there's always a grenade to finish off as well, if someone does nearly escape.
Yeah. And he did take the grenade at once, so he does have that extra range.
Psycho and Rogoth in a little bit of a slap fight. Actually a decent amount of damage coming out in Kalidas, but they do rotate out. Both offlaners finding their own. Ruglord, however, burrows in. Boundrix does get tongued. Nice pull by Little Wolf. That's exactly what we're needing, but Kalidas now in danger does get out. Nice double flame strike by Chaos. But looks like that is just going to be a give choice as well.
Yep, Spooky Ghost did take a lot of damage in that fight, so they're going to have to back up and regroup.
You're getting the hang of it now. Excellent. You're getting the hang of it of when I'm being quiet and you're meant to come in. Oh, you're learning. Excellent. Also, we do see that Kalidas did use the dash to dodge, but good, you're meant to try, otherwise I would not have brought you here.
Report me.
I'm not going to report you, I'll just never invite you to stream again. That's the easier option. Yeah, is this new manager? Interview please, just not Pinky. Anyone else? And that was actually a preemptive phase shift there from Robot Wizard. It is down now, so even if Psycho gets hit with a slide now, it still may be them dead. And barely doesn't get hit by that Anduin root, but we're going to be doing camps once again. Also, I will note, is double rotating now. They did go Divine Steed at level 7.
It's kind of interesting to see that the Yrel is picking up, you know, more slack than I thought that they could. Not that, I am biased against like Urel, but I don't usually see one rotating as well as they have been, so I'm very impressed by that.
I think Urel's scary. Urel's a lot scarier than a lot of people give her credit for, just because most people don't play into her, and most people don't know how they play. Oh, there's a slide, there's a root, there's the stun, there's a minigun. The grenade actually did mess things up a little. Never mind, the grenade found the kill. Oh, Rogoff's W messed things up a little bit because it pushed him out of the... Oh, Desperate Prayer was used, and that's not the time you want to use it, Little Wolf.
Take the altars and put an end.
That's very unfortunate use of Desperate Prayer there.
And Urel gets to really soak
Yeah.
because the Jayhawk had to use the burrow to bottom lane.
We do see a 10 advantage does come through, but that won't really matter too much in all honesty because, well, the next objective's going to be passed where fensad gets their 10s. The only thing that really... Oh, even their siege camp's another good minute or minute quarter off. So, 10 advantage unfortunately didn't quite come through early enough for Spooky Ghost this time around. Slide actually catches the not ETC, the Muradin. But once again, Rogoff's W pushes people out of that major kill combo. Rogoff needs to be a little bit more careful with that moving forward. And there's now the 10s for fensad. So what do we have for Spooky Ghosts there, Pinky?
Alright, so we've got Antoine with Light Bulb. We've got... we got Tychus with Odin. We've got Phoenix with Tail Thoughts, and we got Mosh Pit for... which is, typical for ETC. And then we got Ardent Defender for Urel.
I love Stage Dive on ETC. I know they haven't picked it, but Stage Dive honestly is one of my favorite heroics to pick.
It's definitely fun to see in the off lane for sure.
Oh, not even off lane. I'll
placement.
still pick it as a main tank. Main tank ETC, I'll still pick it in the upgrade. Quote, how dare you.
And how do you feel about the fensad ultimates?
Yeah, so fensad does have some very... Well, actually, all of the ults are relatively standard. We do see it is Isolation to Haka, Rain of Vengeance Vala, Avatar Muradin, Blink Heal Brightwing, and the Wave of Force Li Ming, so all really standard stuff. We do see it's double ultra phase top, so we may just see a trade and then a good fight coming down bottom. Honestly, ooh, nice hammer by Muradin. Nope, we see that it is Rogoff being stuck a while. The team is backing up, and it looks like no one's going for the objectives yet. We're just going to have a fight between Eric and Ruglord, and then they decide to give it to each other.
Yeah. We got enemy, both teams in bottom lane just kind of chilling, clearing the camps that they both took. Not too much going on at this point.
It's just, this map really is just a weird ARAM.
Definitely can't.
Ooh, good isolation to Haka. Psycho went in, tongue finding Kalfis. Kalfis doesn't have their mana shield available. They had already used it. Bomb was spread to Jazzy Val and Grismore. You can see Eric with a K getting very aggressive onto Moore. But no, now they've put themselves in no man's land, so to speak. Does get hit by that orb. Jazzy Val closing in. There comes a Rain of Vengeance. There is the absorb from Urel, but does still need to get out somehow. Good healing by Rogoff, pushing everyone back, and they get to live. Wow. Isn't that good for them?
Yeah. All but Kalthus.
All but Kalthus, yeah. Unfortunately, I believe Kalthus already used Mana Shield, so they didn't have it available to them anymore. And unfortunately, Psycho didn't quite hit that hammer there. Did jump, actually landed on Collidus, but the dash was still available for them, so it kind of messed up Psycho's general. Here's how I'm going to kill you. Ooh, Psycho taking a lot of damage. Robot was attacking even more thanks to that bomb level 7 from Kalfis. They teleported right as it went off for Psycho, so didn't even have a choice to split anytime sooner. Oh, there's the stun, there's the root. Once again, if a W pushes him out of a flame strike, they need to be a little bit more careful about that. It's really the one thing. Oh, isolation for Bush doesn't find anything.
Oh, there's the oh.
Mosh interrupted, went on short cooldown. But in all honesty, it does fall down to Rogoff needs to stop pushing their W after they slide. It's what's really hurting Spooky Ghost for most at the moment, funnily enough.
We do see Brightwing kind of picking up mid for a second because Brightwing does have that mobility advantage.
Rogoff
Ooh.
didn't use the W, someone died. Funny how that works out. Oh, sneaky little mosh of a bush stopping Psycho from getting any further. We do see that it is going to be Avatar Pop, but is ETC going down Grismore using Calamity to take them out. Now we do see Eric with a K backing on up. Call the team fight, Pinky, go.
Well, it's looking like, Gersmore, she just unfortunately just went down, so unfortunately went into Spooky Ghost's favor for this objective.
You know what?
If I was that.
Next objective phase, you're calling the whole team fight. I want to see how that goes.
Oh my god.
This seems like a very cruel punishment, but you got to learn somehow. But it's still relatively well managed for Spooky Ghosts, but they are going to back up. Ooh, Jazzyvel rolls in, does get one more little hit on Colliders to finish off that part of their stack. Camp's being picked up now. What a surprise. We're going to do the steps at some point. But I'd like to see more aggression coming out here. There is a little bit of advantage for Spooky Ghosts. They do have the numbers for the moment.
And it looks like Spooky Ghost is getting a little bit more aggressive in this, and they're going to use out the light bomb. Oh, if they get the kill on the mirror. And unfortunately, they can actually still take the camp.
Yeah.
And that wins in Spooky Ghost's favor.
There we go, just one little bit of aggression, and that is what they need. There's a slide. Nice burrowing claws to Haka. Does get the root, however. Rogoff once again
Hopefully they
almost
can get
W'd them out.
Oh,
Oh, Rogoff. I was like, doesn't get out. No, that is going to be Ruglord. I think Ruglord's the off lane.
I
Actually,
think,
can't check.
I think you jinxed
Oh.
it.
Oh, unfortunately, Rogoff didn't quite hit the W of the Mosh
They
there,
do
so
get
that is
bottom.
full cooldown.
Our tower has fallen.
Look at that, Randy.
This
Hope
is
you're doing
looking
well.
quite very interesting on both sides of the team.
Oh, slide coming up. Does get polymorph of their efforts, but does dodge the orb. But this is a very good place where now this little area in front of between the fort and the death zone is now Spooky Ghost's home.
Turn on your cord.
And Urel really needed to be on the objective immediately now, because we can see they're going to be aggressed into, I imagine, by Psycho. Fensad. Do they just run at her? No.
I don't think they do.
But I think they should have.
They definitely should have. But they do control bottom lane, so they don't get as many points.
Not let the green fingers grow.
But I'd rather get 6 and just eat the other 5, as opposed to get 3 and eat 10.
I think you just wanted to see another fight.
I forgot I was meant to get you to say. There's no fight there, that's a good point. Because you're now sitting here like, God, please, can we just get through that whole thing about a fight? And it's in next objective, so you're safe up until then.
Oh no. So I'm calling the next one.
Yeah. Until there's an objective fight, you are to call the next one.
Oh boy.
Oh, Robot Wizard barely dodging that grenade.
Unfortunately, they're not able to get a lot of damage on this bottom fort here on fensad side.
It's actually been a while since I've seen full grenade build Tychus. Now that I think about it.
It's my favorite.
It's the only one I can play. I'm horrible with his minigun. I will stand still with minigun and pray no one decides to hurt me.
Been there before.
Oh, there's
They're
bomb.
kind of like at a standstill right now on bottom lane.
This is good for Spooky Ghosts. You want to be at a standstill. What I would like to see fensad to do actually is just hard push top instead. Like, take this lane for what you will. It's kind of in a rough spot. Hard push top, even out those forts, and make Spooky Ghost be the one to respond. Don't leave them in a neutral position, which they're already thriving in. Be proactive.
Both objectives are about to come up in here in just a minute. Or in a second, in reality.
Claim the altars.
And Spooky Ghost is positioned fairly well for this objective. They're already capping bottom lane. And then Urel is going in pretty strong. Ruglord has used isolation on the Tychus. And we've got ETC trying to kite as best as he can, but he's got both front line on him. Oh, and he does get the mosh up. Unfortunately, he does get interrupted by the light bomb. Oh, I am wrong with that. But Gersmore is trying to take the objective. Both of them are kind of a little bit at a standstill trying to hold this objective here at mid. We shall see see how this is going to end up, but it looks like fensad has taken a lot of damage in comparison to Spooky Ghost. Spooky Ghost has just gotten a nice little stun on the Mirrodin, but could not finish it off. Now they're sitting here on the Vala, and Vala goes down! Oh, no. That's not what you want when it comes to fensad. We have now Spooky Ghost taking the objective, but that is what they would want, and they're going to take the this camp and potentially push it in here in bottom lane.
I was drinking throughout the whole time. That was great. That wasn't as bad as you thought, was it? That wasn't as bad as you thought.
I was panicking a little bit.
That's how I started out. Yeah, but no, it was a very good team fight by Spooky Ghost. It does leave them with Storm Talent advantage, and they do still have this bottom four. But speaking about Storm Talents, we do see that it is Censure on Anduin, Big Red Button Tychus, Flamethrower Calfist, so can just combo away from a little bit further away. Bolt of a Storm ETC for some cheeky teleporting cow shenanigans. And Yrel still making up their mind. I imagine we'll see Seraphim, but it may very well be Bubble Half.
And right now, at the moment, we do not have 20 for fensad, so it's hard to tell what they might just take here. Oh, and Mirrodin is not in a very good position.
Barely held on. 12 health left at the lowest.
Very low, but he does get out.
It is Seraphim on Yrel. Oh, nice slide once again.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, the Root and the Neverwind wasn't quite close enough. Good pull by Little Wolf. Rogoff still getting low in terms of tank health pulls. It is anyway sub 200 or sub 300. We'll think it went down to 286. Unfortunately, Rogoff resetting here means that may be able to get this fort back finally.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is the question is, are they going to be able to get this back? And it looks like they're going to be able to get this back just in time.
Well, that's the thing, though. Spooky Ghost doesn't need it to win. Spooky Ghost just needs both the objectives. They don't need to win outright with all 5 forts. But definitely would have made it easier. But looks like we may just be trading.
The time is now.
Which boss call still works if your Spooky Ghost boss wins.
I am Lord.
Little Wolf barely got it in time.
Go ahead and call.
Oh, that's a stun on your own. Back on here quick. Okay, going down does pop the Ardent Defender. Gains a decent amount of health during the meantime. We're also getting relatively low. We do see this comedy Odin pop. Eric McKay does jump over wall. Dash by Collidus, but that is really all it's going to go from there. We do see that big heroics to come out. So Spooky Ghost win. It's yours. We're fine. We're leaving. Just a prank, bro. And we can see they are out safely. Well, safely enough. They are still at least pestering the side of Spooky Ghosts.
What's unfortunate for fensad, though, is that all they do need is a boss control for Spooky Ghost to win this game and make it a game 3.
That's not what you want to see. Oh, Jazzy Val does get cleansed by Robot Wizard. Good stuff there. And Comedy Odin finally goes down. Jazzy Val very low, but holding in there. Slowly being healed up by Robot Wizard.
We do have Yrel top, so they're not global, so they're not going to be able to partake in this fight if they continue.
I do wonder why Yrel left. Oh, grenade finding through. I think Yrel would have honestly been better if they came back down to help that team fight there, because there's a lot of members of fensad relatively low, but I guess they were holding out of vision, so it's quite hard to tell. Although Tahaka's doing camp above and does steal it from, well, steal it without Spooky Ghost even realizing.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about Yrel being top lane. Yes, they do take the top 4. But maybe it was better in their interest to continue the fight because we are post 20 at this point.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
I guess it's still one less shot coming in. Vala completes
very
another stack of that Gambit, so at 200 out of 300. Jump by Psycho very aggressively. Can't get back out. ETC pushing him back. There's a nice light bomb. There's Brightwing going down first. And that may be the end time as well. All while behind everything, Yurik with a K does channel the objective, but couldn't quite get there in time with it. Rogoff pops Mosh. Don't know what exactly happened there.
They do get the kills up.
Oh, Psycho gets out. I just see Little Wolf being chased down by Jazzy Val. Ruglord gets the tongue onto the big old Commandeer Odin. And that's Collidus trying their best to get out. Unfortunately, Grismore is just going to chase down, but Jazzy Val finds the kill. And what was a very good start to the fight for Spooky Ghosts turns sour quickly as fensad, proving that this is a map where you can just choose a late game comp and do well. They are making their way back, they are clawing back, but they only got 3 shots here, and now they've got 14 core health left. for Spooky Ghost to 4 of their own on fensad side.
I think this is a very good call for the fensad being able to take this boss right now. Honestly, if I was Spooky Ghost, I probably would have like given objective and just gone straight boss maybe, because then it would have been in their favor. Because it would have taken them a minute to rotate between mid to top, but it's kind of hard to say.
And now they need to give this camp. They're just playing from behind each time. Nice Seraphim by Eric of the does unstop things. Good pull. Rugwall now here does isolate ETC. Rise went to slide. Good pull from Little Wolf and actually just realized. No, ETC went to the Bolt of the Storm. Was like, did they go Diff Mosh? No, they did not. Grismore teleporting in a little bit too aggressively. Does not get 2 punch for their actions, even though Q was available for ETC. That Mosh could have actually turned for fortune there, but no, Yrel once again isn't with the team. 4 shots to 4 shots still though, however, so by no means is it fensad safe at the moment.
No, but they did at least secure bottom lane, and that's kind of like what they needed in comparison, because Spooky Ghost did have top lane capped, so they were ahead as far as structures and hits. So this is something that, you know, fensad would really need right now.
I'm trying to figure out what Spooky Ghost is trying to do currently. I legitimately don't know.
They are middle lane, which is different.
It's like, it looks like they're going to the boss, realize there's nothing there, and now rotating back down.
And that might have been what it was.
Very aggressive rotate already. Robot Wizard does blink to safety, but Rogoff hadn't used slide yet. Once again, that W has saved them, but no. That's what Robot Wizard barely holding on. Mosh comes out, interrupted by Jazzy Val, but Ruglord meanwhile is backside of everyone else. Robot Wizard barely doesn't get hit by that stun, but Jazzy Val is auto-attacking from underneath. There's a slide, there's a kill. And that is one. Robot Wizard once again barely holding on, but Eric Vacay getting aggressive. Sappers were walking top, so it's just 1 health left on the core of the side of fensad. But that won't matter because that's the second kill. Little Wolf gets the objective, does get the kill onto EC in the end. That is the second map of the series going over the side of Spooky Ghost, which means we will have a third map at hand. GG both teams. Well played.
Very well played. And I do like my first co-casting or casting in general. I get to go to a third map. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. I pray it's not some map that I hate. Thankfully, fensad. Oh, I can double check that. Who was it again? Thankfully, Spooky Ghost likes banning out Infernal Shrines, and that's why I like casting them a lot. I can guarantee I'm not going to have to cast Infernal Shrines of them, and that makes me happy.
We shall. Oh yeah, because they banned it. Okay, I was gonna say we shall see.
Oh,
but,
I know
you
they're not.
that was...
I'm safe. I am very safe right now. But right, I'm gonna quickly.
I think I remember you in another.
I'm gonna quickly.
I remember you in another casting. You were saying no Infernal.
Look, I have casted Infernal so much in my couple of years that I've casted, year and a half that I've really casted, where I'm happy where it's banned out. So, I'm going to quickly talk about stats real quick. We do see then in terms of Siege, Dahaka 192k, 248k, so 32k soak to 40k soak in, what's the word that I'm looking for? Respectively. So, Yrel did actually get pretty good soak done. They did double soak a fair amount, and they did actually manage to beat out Dahaka, who is known to be very good double soaker on that map. Hero damage, Collidus, 123k compared to 85k of Vala for most of the other team. And even we see Boundrix hitting that 89k, so they had just such a good kill combo. And once ETC stopped pushing their W and messing that up, it very much found purchase. You can see that Robot Wizard did try their best, 122k healing to keep everyone alive, but just couldn't quite get through that burst. And win 82k, so a little bit shy of the Brightwing still did well. And then looking at the talents, anything that stand out here to you, Pinky?
I would say what's interesting to me that I like seeing that a lot of people don't like seeing is a lot of these bomb talents like Sun, King's Fury. I like seeing Pyromaniac and Ignite. Like, I enjoy seeing those. Unfortunately, it didn't go in their favor and what they were hoping to see. Another thing maybe
what do you mean
that
it did go in their favor.
it did, but
that was
and
the
they did get a lot of I'm sorry. I'm already messing up.
No
Something
worries.
that was very interesting is to see is the diamond skin on Lee Mei. Diamond Skin can work. I think that the Q for 16 with the extra missiles is always an extra damage to put out and be
Mirrorball,
able to put even more damage out there. So it's kind of like a toss up to give that up to take those kind of shields. And I would say everything else fairly looks standard. I'm not as familiar with Urel's talent, so I can't really comment as well as Dehaka. So
Double soaking your Elvis makes a lot of sense. Just because divine speed really is the thing that makes you move, like get across the thing. Because you're getting up to 160% movement speed when you first mount and you insta mount, so you can get between lanes pretty quickly as well. I bet everything
that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, everything's relatively standard across the board. So I'm going to throw it back over to map view. Because it looks like we'll be getting Tomb of the Spider Queen. And somehow, Ruglord keeps failing at linking the ghost emoji. In-game. Right, let me just check a few things. Cool. And you're now part of Spooky Ghost. Have fun.
I am trying to write notes currently at this moment, so I'm trying to have something to say at the end of it all.
Look, you're doing better than I am. I do not write notes. I really should, but I don't. I'm just a bit lazy in that regard. But does look like fensad opted for first pick this map, so this is the first map being picked by Spooky Ghost this series. Hopefully it is a very strong one for them, because it could still go either way in all honesty. fensad Spooky Ghost are putting up a hell of a fight. So who wins that fight is the question. I do know Spooky Ghost is a little bit ahead in terms of table, is a 4v6, where fensad is number 6 on the... I feel like it was 4 and 6 that each of these teams were. Yeah, Spooky Ghost 4, fensad 6. What happens to each team win? Sorry, I'm just doing some math. Because I realize I'll have to figure it out in at the end of next week, who each of you will be playing for your first round of playoffs. It looks like we have almost everyone in.
All right, and I finished writing my note.
Excellent. Excellent.
Now I need another sheet of paper.
Just do what I do and just use the back of Dungeons and Dragons character sheets. Because I don't ever know where I have a pad paper. I need to get a pad paper somewhere. That'd be a good idea.
You must not have a printer off the top of your hand or.
The thing is, I do. It's just in my housemate's bedroom, and I don't want to go in.
Shame.
I don't want to go into my housemate's bedroom. You're going, hey, bro, take some paper out of his printer and leave.
Well, like I said, it's not in your vicinity.
No, it's not. And I don't think I feel even more uncomfortable if they're not home and I go into their room, because I'm just invading their space while they're not here, and that's even worse to me. I respect people's spaces. Don't like going in there and just going, hey, taking your shit and leaving.
Dude, but could you think of the possibility? No, just kidding.
Of stealing paper? What else are you
No,
implying there,
you were just talking
Pinky?
about taking a dump in somebody's toilet.
I did not talk about taking a dump. I do not know what you're on about. As Noah said,
thought
Pink's
that's what
trolling. Pink is indeed trolling.
I'm always trolling.
I'm going to put casters ready and move past what you're trying to fucking insinuate over here.
Didn't you say something about in the bathroom or something? Or am I just crazy?
No,
I think I'm
so
crazy.
the turn of phrase I use is just... Oh, what did I say?
Uh-huh. What did
It wasn't
you
about
say?
using a dump. It wasn't actually about using a bathroom. Taking a dump on their privacy, just ruining their personal space. It essentially just means ruining something. I guess that is a very...
No, I don't recommend it.
I guess it's a very New Zealand phrase. Now I say it out loud. I guess there's a lot of New Zealand phrases I say out loud, which she'll be right is definitely one of them, because I definitely have people looking at me going, what the hell does that mean? She'll be right.
Maybe I just got you confused with something.
True. Maybe that is true. But no, she'll be right is just basically me saying it'll be fine.
I'm sorry, but who was the one to pick the map for first pick? Were you able to?
First pick is going to be fensad, so they would have been Spooky Ghost picking map.
And just for the record, I would not do that to. I
What, take a dump on someone's stuff? I hope not.
didn't say on their stuff. I said in their.
On
bathroom.
them, that's even worse!
I said in their bathroom.
Yeah, how fun is it now people insinuate things about what you said, isn't it? It's not fun when it's on the other foot, is it, there, Pinky?
It is true. It's very true.
You
But
get
it's
what you
still funny.
deserve.
It's funny though. Admit it's funny.
I do not have to do such thing. You don't have to make me. You can't tell me what to do. This is my stream. I'll
You
turn
know you're
around this.
enjoying this co-cat.
I don't know. I very much do it. I actually say that. I very much do enjoy co-casting with people. It helps freshen things up sometimes. Just
And on
me
the
can get a little
scrap.
bit lonely.
True, but you do a very good job regardless. So
Bloody hope so. It's for one thing I claim to do well in this game. I don't claim to play it very well, but I claim to talk about it pretty reasonably.
you know, whether you do well at the game or if you do well at casting in particular, I think it's a lot of fun either way with the game and it keeps it alive. So I thank you for doing this and thank you for having me tonight.
Don't get me mushy on mic. How dare you? Right, I think we're just waiting on one team to say ready still. Yes, I believe we're just waiting on Spooky Ghost to come back still. They may have just taken a quick break. Hopefully not one ARAM worth of break. That'd be a mistake. Nope, I see the ghost being posted. That means we're ready. And we are going to be getting into Tomb of the Spider Queen shortly. When the game decides we're actually going to be starting it, that is.
Nora thinks he's funny and he's not.
Oh, Noah's not funny at all. I really need to tell Noah that when I actually am in the custom night. So just need to
Look
remind
at that.
Noah.
You're getting Linebus is the best. You are the best.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Yitbosser, which feels really weird to call them Yitbosser, because I know them as Randy Newman. They're one of the fabled Randy Newmans that have existed in NGS. Were you here for the seasons when Randy Newman existed as a team?
No, I don't think I
Oh,
believe
that's
I
such
did.
a shame.
Or maybe I didn't know about it at the time.
Because there's like Randy Newman, Wandy Ruman, Wanda Newman. Like, it's just a bunch of like variations on on Randy Newman, and my god, it was hell for some casters because they were all such similar names. But in terms of bands so far, we do see Sylvanas and Joanna banned out. What else do we think we see here? What would you like to see from these teams this map?
I would like to honestly see the Haka ban. Just because it gives a change in scenario for the for fensad, because I believe they played at both games, correct?
No.
No, I'm
Spooky Ghost played at map number 1. Fensade played at map number 2.
okay.
In fact, that hero's
it was
feeling a
late.
bit... that hero's feeling a bit cursed this series. Whoever's picked it has lost.
I am not surprised about the Tychus ban. The Tychus did really well trying to get the grenade on the Vala
Lucio's not
last
banned
match.
again.
And no, it's not.
Sorry, there's also Randy Nude Man. I'm being told. Oh look, first pick Lucio.
And it was by Robot Wizard, so he won't be changing it out this time in first round.
Unless someone
Like the
just
first
yorks
round
it from him last second. Just,
Yeah.
I have it
Troll
now.
you.
What a way to lose a series by accidentally trolling by stealing your own teammate's hero.
That's something I would do.
Hmm.
Just kidding.
Oh, but Diablo Vala on this map is a scary thing to deal with. A lot of tight spaces. And it means we actually will be seeing Jazzy Val playing something not Vala this series.
This is true. I think, honestly, we might see another Li Ming here, or potentially the Nazebo from Gersmore.
I do know more likes their Nazebo pick, but they don't often get to play it. But Blaze Hanzo are a pretty good combo in of themselves.
I like the Blaze pick, especially on this map.
I can't read that person's name. I can't read black writing on a black background. Saxy German says Junkrat most OP hero in the game. I think
And
it's just
he can be
annoying.
formidable.
I think they're just the most annoying hero, and that's what makes him strong.
For sure. Like we were talking about before, is the concussion mind build. Oh my god.
I like that Nor's just calling things in the chat. To see Hanzo, blam.
He calls a lot of things.
I think he just had done his research when you guys played fensad and actually knows. Is Nor the scouter?
Nor is a scouter on our team.
Yep,
I am also a scouter, so is Nolius. We have a lot of, like, across the board for scouting.
Then how have you not been guessing more of these picks correctly?
Because I didn't do my homework as well as I should have.
Well, I do not do homework for this either.
Well, I'm pretty sure I called early on that we might see a Hanzo pick.
True.
And it is being brought out this game. Oh, and there's the Dehaka every game, it seems.
Has Eric cursed their team to lose this? We'll find out in roughly 20-25 minutes, depending on how long these teams will like to go on for. But I do like the Tesla pickup. It is good wave clear for this map. Gives you a good rotational advantage. They do still need the healer on the side of Spooky Ghost. I imagine we may see actually the Zebra now, because I know Grismore likes playing it. But we may just still see Orphea or something more standard from them. Muradin. Orphea, yep.
Although, Debo's very good on this map, so it could have been something that they could have utilized.
I know, it makes me so sad not to see it. But I guess you shouldn't ever really plan to get that late in the series, is always my thing.
It's true, that's true.
Especially because, well, Spooky Ghosts do have a pretty formidable team post-20s. When you get things like Diablo Hellgate or Vala with Farflight Quiver, those are things you have to consider. And Malfurion with Diablo is a very scary thing in itself. Stop typing in chat. You have a microphone, you can use it.
Trying.
You can just say Nor is trolling out loud.
Nor is trolling.
There we go. See, it's not that hard. You don't even have to type.
You're right.
Isn't that so much more convenient?
It is a little bit more convenient. They do have a lot of CC going on for Spooky Ghost. I do like that. They have a lot of strong engage, especially with the Dehaka and the Diablo combo. They've got on fensad, they've got the Blaze and the Muradin though, and that's very also strong frontline.
And likely Dragon Arrow as well, but there is some credence in these team fights for Dragon. Wait, what's that one called? Dragon Arrow and Dragon Strike. Just because Dragon Strike does have a decent corridors to move down, and it's actually quite hard to escape in some of these kind of tighter fights. So I will introduce fensad this time, and you can save that for just in a few moments after that. We do have Robot Wizard on the Lucio, Grismore on the Orphea, or as one of my friends like to call her, Orphea. Ruglord is on the Blaze once again. Psycho is on Muradin, Jezebel on the Hanzo. And what do we have for Spooky Ghost here, Pinky?
We have Calidus on Vala. We have Boundix on Tassadar. We have Eric with a K on Dehaka. And we've got Rogoth on Diablo and Little Wolf on Malfurion.
I was wondering if you're about to forget the Malfurion. I'm just looking at Little Wolf going, will she remember it? It appears yes. Scatter early from Jezebel. Was expecting the Burrow from Dehaka onto there, but was a little bit late. We see FLGH and then Butts in the chat. Eric with a K taking a lot of scatter shots there. And it is going to be scatter build Hunter, just they chose Talon a little bit late.
Also looks like both teams, whether or not it was on fensad or for Spooky Ghosts, they took auto attack with Vala.
I mean, it is considered one of the strongest builds for a reason. If you can get it without dying, it's going to be a lot. And I do see Porky does point out that Diablo stun into Tassadar wall does work. So Diablo can get those stuns off. Very mobile walls from Boundrix, and that can actually make things a lot scarier in of itself. Also, I now know Nor has horrible opinions because they just do walls are a waste of mana, prove me wrong. So Nor
I was just about to say that.
Nor's from this here, Nor also thinks that Entomb is a bad heroic. That's what that implies. That
Nor
exact thing there means Nor means that means just no. You know what? Nor gets ignored for the rest of the stream. I also want to mention Malfurion has gone deep roots as opposed to Emerald Dream. So it is going to be stacking that mana with the bigger actual root circle itself, and very interesting not to see the sleepy time on them. Also, Hanzo's doing bottom camp, while Bruiser camp already being found for the side of Spooky Ghost. No, Urid, it's not broccoli, it is the other one. Not broccoli, it's deep roots. It's not vengeful roots.
How do you feel about them taking camp at this time?
I mean, if you get decent push of it, which we may see, because Psycho now... Oh, it doesn't quite hit first on. Does get flipped to root. It's going to take a lot of damage for it. Does jump out, however. But yeah, if you can get a decent amount of kind of push with it, then, well, you're doing well, because we do see it's already crashing with Gate. We can see Gate starting to drop pretty quickly, actually. Psycho doing what they can to slow things down, but no, will not be able to step in too much without facing the wrath of Rogoff. Oh,
And
nice
as Eggstar said, ignored.
Oh, I'm keeping that one. Oh, but in the meantime, while that's happening in chat, we see not one but 2 kills. And again, that's where Lucy becomes scary. You cannot escape as easily as you want. And that's a lot of gems dropped. Collider steps up to grab him, but we'll have to back out. Yeah, I almost think I would have rather Junkrat to get through than Lucio for this team.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. And that's what I was going to bring up in the very beginning that I forgot to bring back up is the Lucio pick. Because that's something that, you know, Robot Wizard is very strong on. And giving them that might be a problem, but we shall see.
And as I mentioned earlier, this is a map that wants fast rotates. And, well, Lucio's speed does allow that. Also, I want to see how long it takes Rogoff to lose their mind at getting booped back by Robot Wizard a bunch.
It's going to be interesting with the wall check with Diablo into the Lucio to see if he can get those boops off in time.
I know Robot Wizard played a lot, so if they're... I assume they're good enough to boop Rogoff basically every time it happens. But now we see Psycho a little bit low and does get hit with a Q, but no follow-up on top of him.
And we do see Electric Fence by Tassadar, so that's going to slow a lot of anybody who gets up in close in proximity.
Look, now it does damage. It can. Now it may be good. Now it may be worth the mana, according to a certain someone who shall not be named. But we do now see. Don't even mention. But no, now we see they're rotating down. Both teams have turn-in. We already see half of a turn-in done, or over half of a turn-in done for fensad already. Spooky Ghost looking for theirs still. Dahaka and not Orphea, wow. Vala just keeping out Ruglord as Ruglord pushes one little Q, takes the tower, and tries to leave. Oh, nope, they're stuck. Does get nice double stun. Still don't know how that hits Collidus. Lucio goes straight into a tongue and dies. Thank you to the Death Dealer from Collidus.
And meanwhile, we have mid just kind of holding it kind of neutral as of for right now. So there's not a lot going on between both of the 3 versus 3 right now.
Vala was barely interrupted from their turn and by Orphea, but Orphea can't afford to stay around. Rogoff immediately just doing their own turn at Eric of K, running down to Ruglord, gets the tongue, does a little bit of hitting. And now, unfortunately, Vala left at a very inopportune time. But there's still maybe... Nope, Ruglord gets survived. They charged the correct way. If Vala hadn't left, that may have been another kill.
And Muradin did try to hop and get that stun on her, but unfortunately he missed it.
I think Boundrix just basically told Moore, no, you can't turn it in. She got hit straight in the face with a laser beam. Which they are stacking laser beam. They've been a bit slow on it so far. Only 6 hits out of a general 20 you need to complete it. So only at 30 extra damage. And we see Blue Web Weavers are turning it first. They did sneak it bottom safely as well.
And first objective gets to go over to fensad.
Nope, Robot Wizard doesn't get seen. Unfortunately for Rogoff, they left bush riders. That would have been Robot Wizard going past. Unfortunately for Ruglord, they're not going to be spared the same nicety. And they go down.
That's very unfortunate.
But now everyone's bottom. Essentially, most of the team needs to leave and go basically deal with top and mid immediately. Bottom in a lot of senses, is the least important lane on this map. Mid lane you want to control for vision. Top lane you want to keep control of because of the boss. Bottom lane, yeah, sure, there's siege camps you need to deal with, but... Soul Shield popped by Diablo already. Prismore up along the electric fence. Nice double hit by Boundrix here with that Q. and 10s are through. Quickly run us down Fensad's heroics there, Pinky.
All right, for fensad, we have Ruglord Blaze with Bunker. We have Orphea with Crushing Jaws. We have Hanzo with Dragon Arrow. We have Lucio for High Five. And we have Muradin for Avatar.
Yep, so there is a decent stun combo there. Before we get into any further, I'll say what Spooky Ghosts have. We do have the Strafe Vala, not often you see it, but can do a lot in a lot of team fights. Black Hole Tassadar. Adaptation on Dahaka, rare we see that one. Diablo in Lightning Breath, and it is going to be Tranquility on the Malfurion, who I'm still looking at going, why do they choose Deep Roots?
It do be like that sometimes, though.
No. I don't like it. I don't see it often, so I don't like it. And we see Rogoff is stepping up quite early, does charge Muradin into wall. There is the root behind it, actually catching Muradin, never mind to take it back, but there goes the Dragon Arrow onto Collidus and Little Wolf, but they do back up to safety. Cycle taking a decent amount of damage. Rogoff absolutely bullet sponging this with that 75 spell armor they do have from their level 1. Now we can see it is going to be Red Weebers dropping, and that was a lot of heroics already dropped by the side of fensad. And we only saw Tranquility being used for Spooky Ghost, so now they're going to be in a rough spot of their own. fensad has to deal with this sans heroics.
And we do see Dehaka with a lot of gems. That's something I just noticed. So as long as he doesn't die, they should be able to potentially get in a second turn in.
You're telling me you don't like the offlaner being a pinata? He's gonna explode in gems. That's gonna be so fun to watch.
Ew.
It's gonna be a little bit harder to kill this Dahaka in saying that because they are adaptation. They can survive a decent amount. But by no means are they unkillable. They just have 3 health bars you have to get rid of.
This is true.
They're at 45 now, God. Dahaka, just give it turn, and you have 10 seconds. Get ready for it. Both teams have turned it once again, by the way, and actually where it was fensad who had the gem count lead before, it has rotated over to be in favor of Spooky Ghost. There comes a charge. Flip. Robot Wizard, however, does still escape, and Eric with a K does start the turn, and meanwhile top, we see Grismore turning in 13 of their own.
They did get the camp take, which is going to be very good for defense as soon as this Tassadar gets the turn in.
Muradin gets a jump.
Will it be enough?
Little Wolf does root off Orphea from stepping on in, letting Boundrix be a little bit safer longer, but unfortunately they decide to stay and do some damage. Running out of mana, nice charge, but it is going to be the spell armor pop by Diablo as they do get hit by the Crushing Jaws. Eric with a K using their first health bar worth of healing to escape, but no, they can't quite get out. Rogoff did have the Lightning Breath going at the same time, does go down themselves. And that is a good team fight for fensad, and once we get another team fight, that's on you, by the way, to call.
Oh, wonderful. So what we have, though, for right now, though, is that this is something that fensad is going to want, is because they got those 2 kills, they can freely defend these objectives, even though Diablo was able to come back up in 5 seconds. You know, he's baby Diablo, so he won't be able to do as much as he hopes to do in these team fights.
It's a W build Diablo, though. It can get stacked up pretty quick, but yeah, that was a very nothing Web Weaver phase. As well, unfortunately, Spooky Ghost kind of used it, but the deaths meant, well, as you said, nothing happened. They had him out, it cleared some waves, but it didn't clear any buildings.
So far, right now, though, Spooky Ghost is doing, not Spooky Ghost, excuse me, fensad is doing well with, oh, we got a team fight going on. It looks like Robot Wizard is going down. Will they be able to get the Hanzo? No, they won't. And everyone else will be able to leave from the situation. They do get turn in. Will Muradin be able to leave is the question. He should be able to have jump up here fairly soon.
That's not the way you wanted to flip Psycho. Psycho can now jump over wall to safety. Oh, never mind. There's Task Wall. Started in the Task Wall. Good double hammer from Muradin and Rogoff, Eric of K getting stuck on each other. All while Blaze and Orphea takes the bottom.
And that's definitely something that fensad is going to want, is to be able to take bottom lane, and that gives them the map advantage at this point.
Oh, Eric with a K does get with a stun. I'm like, interesting they ran out of that bush, but no. Just one building so far. Imagine we'll see top go down as well. Actually, no. Webweaver's already did that lane. Mid seeming to be the next one in trouble. Boundrix backing on up to safety. They're going to go in that full Q build, so can do a lot. But 16 advantage, 2 levels in favor of fensad. Siva's building is going to be safe for now. Top a hair's breadth away, so will probably be ran at some point as well. You can see already Hanzo and Muradin in position just to hit it, which just don't even bother clearing for wave, just smack it a bunch.
And it looks like it's a little bit more, and it goes down.
Literally just Muradin jumps in there and it dies. But we see
they're going to
Bruce
go ahead and take this scan.
Yeah, all these buildings. Okay, scatter does not do damage to buildings, Jazzy. Calm down. But no, we do see this pressure is going to continue to be building upon mid. Muradin is trying to stop the Haka rotating top. Doesn't quite do so. Ruglord.
Looks like they're trying to push him up, or mid here. I'm sorry, just trying to.
We're trying to.
Trying to call something.
No worries. It doesn't help when I just talk over the top half the time.
No, it's okay. Just you said I was gonna call team fight. I was thinking maybe it was gonna happen, but it didn't happen.
Oh,
There goes the
crushing
crushing
Go.
drop.
Nice Dragon Arrow.
Oh,
We just
and
hit like.
Orpheus. No. Go ahead.
As I said, go. I was expecting you to say something. But no, it does. Orphea does get for crushing jaws, but she did actually manage to survive everything else. Oh, there's stun. Unstock coming out. Nice 4-man stun. There's Blaze getting a kill. Veer, Boundrix now for one in trouble, holding the ground, knowing they're dead. And does back out in an interesting direction, trying to pull the attention away from Collidus and Little Wolf. And they do so. Rogoff getting hit with a defense scatter. Psycho getting charged into a wall for their jump. And now we can see that it is going to be Vala stunned from behind. Blaze bunker being dropped. Ruglord, however, will be fine. Psycho lives. Unfortunately, when Vala is in strafe, their single target damage is a bit abysmal. It does still do well, but the single target damage does not quite have the same effect that their auto attack build does.
Yeah, that's something that I don't typically see with auto attack is the strifes. So that's a very interesting thing to pick up with it. I do think that you don't get your stacks though when you're using that. So, but it could work in its advantage, especially if you take it the upgrade at 20.
Yeah, it definitely can. I forgot that the ability used to heal, and I just remember the days of just like Vala's just running around spinning.
Those are the days I didn't play it.
In saying that, I very much know every now and again I've gone, this hero's strong, I'm going to use it. I remember this terrifying Zagara moments where it was basically a full season of Zagara just doing work.
They used the crushing jaws. They almost got the Hanzo, but they didn't. Here's Diablo looking kind of scary in his situation right now. He is in the thick of it all. We got Black Hole being used, but it didn't really hit anybody, so it didn't really get a lot of value that they were hoping for. And it looks like both teams are going to be able to walk out just fine.
Nope, Lucio died.
Oh, I lied.
I was like, I wonder how long it would take me to realize. Lucio died up where Boundrix and Little Wolf are now, because they actually split off during that team fight, and that meant they weren't able to get through, well, what everyone else did. We can see it's Grismore and Jazzyval turning in their gems now, however, but they don't have enough in their own. Ruglord and Psycho do also need to turn in. No one person had enough, but Boss is being started. And Rogoff is just holding a bush, keeping an eye on things. Oh, Psycho has been found. Does get flipped into the root. Takes a lot for it. Lightning Breath being used, but all while Boss was leashed above and is going to heal to full. Because at this point, Lucio has respawned, and that window for Boss has very much closed upon Spooky Ghost. But they're giving up too much ground, and turn-in is going to be found by fensad, which now has to be defended by Spooky Ghosts.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about the boss call there. I think that they should have been sitting there looking for a potential another pick since Lucio was down for a while.
That or even I think they had to do the boss call immediately. I think they took long getting there also was a thing.
That's possible too. Or that is only the case.
Right, here comes the defense. I think bottom goes down no matter what here. Just Blaze is already prepped for lane, and we can see the Web Weaver is not too far away. Dragon Arrow came out, however. We do see stuns coming out. There's Crushing Jaws underneath. Only Rogoff found this time, but that is going to be a Diablo living through a lot, taking to 75 spell armor. Good Black Hole, Psycho, and more in a wall, but Ruglord doesn't quite find the charge onto anyone.
And as you said it, bot did go down.
I mean, I was gonna say, that's probably not like the most big brain tag I've ever gotten. I just saw a Web Weaver with a bunch of like wave going in. I'm like, yeah, it's probably gonna happen. I feel like most people can figure that out, hopefully. Maybe not Noah, but most people.
Nor never figures it out.
Oh, Eric with a K. Burrows underneath from behind, but no, we do see her get knocked back by Lucio, so Tongue doesn't find anything. And you should really not walk into small corridors when there's a Hanzo scatter build around.
If I was fensad, what would you do at this point?
I mean, they're doing what I would have maybe suggested. They have a 20 advantage. May as well use it. It doesn't look like Spooky Ghost is really want to picking a fight down 20s. So boss is actually relatively safe call, and they're burning it very quickly. Hanzo did go that W at level 1. They didn't pick at level 4, but they can still do a lot of damage with Scatter itself. Oh, and unfortunately Spooky Ghost unable to turn in, but that Dragon Arrow does go flying straight past everything into the abyss. Oh, good
Tassadar's in a very scary situation.
Oh. Well, I know now how the Mario movie ends. I just saw fucking Muradin just jump straightly on top of Tassadar. Eric of K being chased down. As I said before, Robot Wizard with that speed. Reverse amp slow. No one is really able to escape it that easily. And now it looks like we're going to have an end call by the side of fensad.
Oh, it looks like they're just going to push core at this point. I think that's a very good call from them because 2 are down for Spooky Ghosts and they could see how much they can get on the score right now.
And Boss is still pushing top as the thing. Boss is only just going down now. We see Bunker drop 60% left on core. This is going to be very close. And I double stun by Rug Lord, but it is going to be a cool core focus. Root hits 1, but that won't quite be enough to stop the onslaught that is happening because the cat is alone doing work, and that will be the game and the series going to the side of fensad. 2-1. GG called by both sides. Well played.
GG for both teams.
Yeah, how do you feel about that now we've come out the other side of that free map series and fensad actually having a pretty good performance on that last map as well, finding pretty clean win to it actually, even though it was a 2-1.
It was a very clean game, and I'm really glad to see it. That shows how strong they were, especially on this map, and being able to pull off the combos that they were looking for to secure the kills and be able to secure what they wanted to for objective and for boss. So if I was fensad, that was definitely what they needed to happen. Do you want to go ahead and go into our stats here?
Yeah, very quick talk about stats. We do see Blaze had for most siege for the side of fensad, but that, compared to that, Tesla actually had more, 143k, but that was they were the main wave clear with that double soak. And actually, but in terms of actual soak itself, Orphea had the most for Spooky Ghost, while Dahaka had the most. Sorry, Orphea for most fensad, while Dahaka most of Spooky Ghost. A little bit of reversal there between the offlane and the damages either way. In terms of hero damage, Hanzo 81k, 51k Orphea, and even Orphea barely beat out Vala. Vala didn't have a great... She didn't die, I'll give her that. With auto tech builds pretty well. But I do wonder if Strafe was the pick. That's probably one of the things where I mentioned, because you are auto attack build, you're missing out on a lot of potential damage. And a lot of the time it was the single target damage needed. But I should still mention Lucio 60k healing, Malfurion 81k, but Lucio 35k hero damage, so in themselves was still a menace, but maybe not quite as much as they were on Alterac. Talents, anything stand out to you there, Pinky?
As far as talents go, the only thing that I think is kind of interesting, which really makes sense, especially for Robot Wizard, is taking that 16, the cooldowns for his basic attack and being able to the wall ride, increasing the basic attack range and stuff like that, that allowed him to get the work that he wanted to. Unfortunately, he did not get as much damage as he did the first game, but he still made an impact regardless. And I would say everything else looks almost fairly normal besides adaptation. I'm not fairly certain about adaptation because I'm used to seeing isolation. And Strife as well is something that is very interesting to see because Reign of Vengeance is very strong, especially for like team engages. You can just follow up what's done. What about for you?
Yeah, nah. Adaptation is a weird one. What the hell is happening? Oh, there's people in lobby 1, apparently, who are ready for the interview already that I missed. So what we're going to do is we're both going to move up there and see how they feel about it after all that. Right. How long till... I'm just going to drag her up as well. There we go. So, fensad, how are you feeling at the end of it all?
Tired. I'm ready for sleep. I was just making random noises the entire
Come on,
last
we're
game.
queuing Storm League. 10 more games tonight.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, hyped up. All 3 were pretty close games.
I'd say of all the games, map number 1, Alterac, was probably the least even, I'd say. You guys do seem to pick that a fair amount, though, and it does seem to be in your wheelhouse, so to speak. Is that just one of those maps you go, cool, we're just going to go there every time, or...?
I think the map came from we just saw like a CCL team play Alterac, and then we're just like, huh, they won that pretty well, so we tried to copy them. And it's gone pretty well since then.
And were you expecting to get Lucio not once, but twice this series?
Good to be back.
It's even funnier because yesterday we were doing a scrim, and then yesterday, day before, we did a scrim, and we're like, don't pick Lucio, you're never gonna get it, everyone bans it, and then here we go, being able to pick it twice.
You just never know what could happen.
They nearly got me game 3, though. They baited me. That was not... I did not... Uh-oh.
I reported him. He had 4 deaths, so I reported him.
Fair enough. But Pinky, any questions you had about Alterac in particular?
What yeah, so I saw the swap and I had called it in draft that you guys were gonna do the swap-a-roo, but were you potentially thinking about taking the Vala instead of taking the Lucio? What was your thoughts about the swap-a-roo?
I think we were both me and Jazz have very good. We kind of have a lot of overlap in our characters, so we're often swapping in draft and kind of seeing depending. It normally comes down to I think if there's like I have slightly more experience on Vala, so if there's like a little more of a technical Vala game, I'll just take it. But that game Vala seemed under less threat. So it was really good that he could just pick it up. It's not a very big difference. So we're just very flexible in how we play it.
Very good.
Oh, right on. Map number 2. Towers of Doom. Not quite as in your favor. You guys actually put a lot of pressure onto that map, and in general, we did see a very good blow-up between the ETC slide, Stun Calvis, Roots, and when all the while you're being wailed on by Tychus. Kind of, how were you guys trying to deal with it?
I know for me, after we hit 10s, I just was very focused on the ETC, trying to make sure. Which honestly, looking back on it, I didn't need to, because we had a Robot Wizard with the polymorphs, and I was just very focused on watching out for those moshes and being able to wave a force them. But I think I maybe did it once that entire game, because the rest of my team were pretty on stopping him. And I know I played very safe that game because I was just scared. I hate playing against ETC when I'm on Li Ming.
Yeah, I think we were just calling out ETC's cooldown. They weren't really finding the stuns without his power slide first, so ETC's power slide became the most important cooldown for us to keep track of.
And do you think you guys had like some remnants of hope whenever ETC would W out of their main damage combo?
Oh yeah. We started Ice Snow because the Vala was getting caught in it the most, and as soon as they focused up, I mean, they stopped really getting caught into it towards the mid game. So I mean, we just gotta call it out, keep an eye on everyone.
It was a really tight place that you guys were in for game 2 for quite a while, and just to bring it to home on game 2, how did it make you feel though, being in that tight place for as long as you did that whole game?
Oh, I thought we were gonna win it.
That's so too.
That-
It was-
attitude.
100%. I saw them get to 4 and then get stagnant, and I'm like, oh, it's Towers of Doom time.
yeah, that's literally that's exactly what he said, and I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, yeah, it's Towers of Doom. We can win it.
Unfortunately, not the case this time around, but that did lead us to one of a few free map series that I have casted this season, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Have you guys played on it that much this season? Do you like going to it, or is it something you're not quite as comfortable on?
I think it just comes up
In the
whenever.
middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not one of our go-tos, but
It's
we
one
have-
of those
we've played
whatever
it.
maps for you guys, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And normally people don't have too much prepared for it unless they're like doing some like Zool, Stukov, Nazebo, and they can do that all they want. I'm not
Speaking
that
about
scared.
Nazebo,
Yeah.
Noah,
I have a question.
why did you not pick it?
Correct.
Is that your
We're doing
question,
this
Yes.
Tiki?
That is
You!
my question too. Why didn't you take the Nazebo
What's
being
even
his strongest
funnier?
map?
Even it's even funnier because I had him highlighted too. It's like, so does Zebo, and of course my team
Yeah.
doesn't like me playing the
We're
Zebo.
doing this thing as a team where we try to pick people for more who actually do damage and who help team fights. It's been pretty successful so far.
My level 110 Nazebo is not good enough for them. It's
Neither
okay.
is
I
your
know
Varian.
it was my-
Your Nazebo's
I'm-
great. Nazebo's not good enough for me.
It's okay. I met them with my level 106 Orphea, so.
And it worked out well for you. But my question though, I do have leading up to that with, everything that you have chosen for game 3 was, were you expecting them to snipe the Vala? And how did you feel about them sniping the Vala? Was that in like your plans to take Vala in game 3? And did it like feel impactful for you when they took it?
No.
I died to it like 3 times.
I mean, for you, yeah, you were
I
the
love the
only
two
one
differences. Yeah, just more. Nah, I'm good.
I really hate playing against Vala as Lucio because she just does a lot of like close range damage and I can't dodge it. So
Well-
I didn't think they would do it. Yeah, but we play around it, and I also think we picked up a lot of good stun, which is really strong into any aggressive Valas.
And Vala is very squishy for me. I mean, I go Q build, so as long as I
Yeah.
hit my Qs, I kill whatever's in near me. So I'm definitely not scared of the Vala. And even then, even if they didn't choose Vala, I think we were still going with the Hanzo no matter what. I mean, it was looking pretty strong. And I know Jazz was itching his finger to play Hanzo, so I think it worked out really well in our favor. Well, except for Robot
Yeah,
Wizard's favor.
huge arrows.
So it was
Really.
kind of like a kind of like lifted off of your shoulders a bit when they took it, because it allowed you to play something other than that, because it seemed like Vala was a very strong pick tonight overall.
Yeah, I think it did actually hurt some teams. I think it was kind of a bait sometimes because like our Vala was getting caught out game 2. Their Vala, I don't think their Vala actually got that caught out.
No, their Vala did fine.
Just wasn't able to like connect with the backline targets, maybe except for me a couple too many times, but that's on me. Vala's a weird character. I feel like she does infinite damage or no damage, and there's not much in between.
I do have to ask you this, because I think I recall you saying something about, as a Lucio, you're not actually that scared of Diablo. Why is that?
It's mainly because I'm just so much faster than him that I can play angles where he's not going to get a valuable stun on me. Because Diablo's always just trying to like outposition his opponent in a team fight, and as long as I'm careful, I don't have to worry about that all that much. And he didn't pick APOC, but Lucio's also very good at shutting down any APOC shenanigans.
Right on. I see one
I
last...
have had to eat those words before.
I see one last note here from Twitch chat, and in fact it is your teammate going, the swap was not mutual when it came to the
for the
Vala
first game.
Lucio. Any comments on that?
I like Lucio.
Okay, so with that I will
I
leave
called it.
with that I'll leave the floor open to you too. Is there anything you want to say at the end of it all, kind of how the series went? Any shout outs? The floor is yours.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Shoutouts to Jazz. I love you. I'm gonna steal all your characters. That's all.
All right, I'll do the rest. I think overall
Yeah,
the series
you
is
go.
pretty fun. Definitely a fun series. Game 2 definitely got me sweating a little bit. But yeah, thanks to Spooky Ghost for giving us a good fun series. Shout outs to the team. Shout outs to our captain Leo for scheduling. Shout out to, of course, you guys for the cast. Appreciate it. Shout out, I mean, he hasn't been here this season, but he definitely helped us last season. Shane the Train for our coaching last season, because even still to this day, I will remember stuff that he taught me, like with my Li Ming, and I will make sure I practice it during my games. So shout out to Shane. And yeah, I think that's everything. Shout out to my cat Smokey for not disturbing me this game.
Miracle.
Yeah, you're right. That's
We
great.
haven't yelled Smokey once this entire series.
But right, thank you so much, you two. Go enjoy the rest of your night with your team, and have a very good Easter weekend if that is something you guys do. Eat a bunch of chocolate on. I don't know.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
Thank you so much for
sleep.
casting.
Have a
Always
good
fun
one.
having you.
And I'll be
Bye,
moving it down to
guys.
casting lobby 1. So if you join me via Pinky, or I'm just gonna drag you and force you to rejoin me. So, how do you feel into your first, albeit co-cast? How was it?
It was a lot of fun. I definitely want to continue the casting. Maybe I can get another co-cast in to be a little bit more like, comfortable in it. It was exciting. Sometimes we were talking over each other, and that's a little bit my fault because I was trying to, come into like the cues that I needed to. But you're bound to make errors in your first one, and I really do appreciate this opportunity. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad for my first one we got to go to like map 3. So we had a lot to comment on, and that was a lot of fun. So thank you, Line Best.
Look, people talking over each other will always be an issue. Even when I was doing my cast with Moore a couple of weeks back, we still stepped on each other's toes, but that's just more because each caster is a slightly different how they see things. But no, it has been excellent having you joining us, well, Twitch Chat and I today. So, do you have any shout-outs you want to say? And actually, is there a place that people will find you when you do finally decide to jump in the deep end and do your own casting?
Ooh. So I am hoping maybe, if possible, I would like to do a little bit of casting in Division A, if possible. Maybe I can even help a little bit on, I don't know if that's possible, to do a little bit casting for playoffs for Division B. It's really exciting, especially to be here in casting for my own division. It's a lot of fun, especially because I know these people a lot more well than any other division in particular. But I think like going up a little bit on the spectrum, you'd see a little bit more, see a little bit more interesting things. Not saying it's not interesting here and in Division B, but there's a reason why we have a gap between B and A, right? So it'd be really interesting to get to that point. And I would like to shout out to everybody that supported us tonight for casting. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there and supporting my shenanigans and trolling. I say the wrong things at the right time. So I like I said, I had a lot of fun, and thank you so much for having me.
Look, no worries. So I'm going to do is close myself up. So I'm going to just mute you anyway, so you have no choice in how much you talk. But as that has been it for me this evening, us this evening, I should say. I've been your host, V-Line Bus, and very much, once again, thank you to Brutal Pinkie Pie for joining us. And that was an excellent 2-1 series between fensad and Spooky Ghost. There was a little bit of trading. fensad did get map number 1. We did see Spooky Ghost got number 2. And that led to fensad taking out in map number 3. And what was actually, in the end, quite a close series. Even though some maps definitely was a little bit more one-sided than others. Particularly the Ultrek one. But that'll be it for me. I wish everyone good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending where I am in time's world. Time zones are very weird. But I'll see everyone in the Nexus. Goodbye, at least, for now.